Hey there, gang. Patrick King coming to you here live from Monroeville, Pennsylvania. Tonight's question comes from Laura. Laura wants to know, I'm curious on your thoughts on bridleless riding and liberty training. How much importance or how much time do you spend on these? Would you rather use some rein and be more connected to help the horse move correctly, more balanced, etc., or be able to walk, trot, and canter bridleless and control the feet? How much importance or practice do you put on freestyle and liberty work? I think it's a really interesting question, Laura, and a lot of that to me comes down to the horse's kind of innate characteristics or innate athletic ability. So, what do I think about liberty work? What do I think about bridleless work? I think it's fantastic. There's a lot of folks out there that are doing really great stuff with that. I've got a lot of friends that are doing outstanding work with it. Folks like Guy McLean, folks like Madison Shambaugh, Dan James. There's a lot of folks out there that are doing great liberty work, great bridleless work. And it's awesome, you know, it's great to watch. How much time do I spend on it? Well, honestly, I'm in a position right now where I don't own any horses of my own. So I'm not spending any time on those things personally for myself. When I did have my own horses, and of course, being that I'm on the road now teaching 7 days a week, the calendar has me on the road about 340 days every year, so it just doesn't make any sense for me to own any horses at this point. So that's why that's not something that I'm personally doing for myself. But when I did have horses, I always dabbled at least a little bit with kind of the idea of the bridleless riding and definitely the liberty work. The liberty work to me is a fantastic way to connect the horse more with us mentally. It's kind of like taking away the safety net, you know. We can get a horse working online, we can get a horse working in hand, but once we've got that horse truly at liberty, well, now we've got a truth test. How much does that horse really want to be with you? Do I think it's a replacement for working in hand, for working online? No, I don't think it's a replacement. To me, it's an enhancement, okay? So when I'm working with a horse online, when I'm working with a horse in hand, it's about the proper mechanics and getting the horse in the right frame of mind. If I'm working with that horse at liberty, or if I'm coaching someone to work with that horse at liberty, and things are falling to pot, then we're going to go back online. You know, if we've got him connected online or in hand, we can help him with using his body correct. If we go loose, if we go at liberty, then he's literally at liberty to use his body in the way that in that moment he feels fit. Now, if that's a way to do that, if his way of using his body is not suitable for long-term soundness. Like we see some horses that'll turn completely inside out or upside down. Those horses, I would be less likely to work in that sort of circumstance because we wouldn't be doing them any good muscularly. We wouldn't be doing them any good for long-term soundness. And because of those two things, we're not going to be doing them much good mentally in the long run. Okay? So I think it's a fantastic thing if the horses are working correctly, as that would pertain to their biomechanics. Okay, that's where I'm going to draw the line. So if we turn him loose and he comes upside down, or he's using himself what we would call wrong as per the biomechanics of movement and muscular development, then I'm going to go back online and make sure that we can get things working better. Because I don't want to erase the progress that we make with a horse, okay? That's like saying I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to work out and I'm not going to use a spotter. I could run into overdoing things, right? I could use myself incorrectly and I could end up damaging myself. Now, your horse likely isn't going to end up damaging himself in the liberty work, but he could be using himself improperly for long-term muscular and physical development. So that's a big piece that I'm going to keep in mind. which is also what I'm going to think about whenever I'm riding a horse and playing with ideas, or when I'm coaching someone who's playing with ideas of bridleless riding. If we go to take off that bridle, or not, right? If we just pretend that we have it off, and our horse turns upside down and he starts using himself wrong, or say he pitches himself completely onto the forehand, then the work that we're doing is not going to be suitable for helping to promote long-term soundness and muscular development. So that's really where my guidelines are going to be. It's about long-term soundness. All of our riding, all of our work with our horses should be focused around those ideas. Does the work I'm currently doing, whether it's in hand, whether it's online, whether it's loose at liberty, whether it's connected to the bridle, whether it's bridleless, whatever, is the work that I'm currently doing helping to promote long-term soundness and physical and mental development of my horse? If not, I don't care what the work is. If it's not meeting those standards, then it's not on my list of things to do at that moment, until I can do it in a way that is meeting those standards. So if I'm riding a horse with the idea of bridleless again, and he's falling on the forehand and he's doing all this stuff, then I'm going to go back to using the reins. I'm going to go back to using the bridle, that sort of thing. Or a neck rope. You know, we can help the horse a bit with a neck rope there also. There's certain reflex points we can hit, you know, in the neck or in the body. We can ride and activate certain places that might help the horse move better. If not, if that's not happening, then of course I'm going to go back to the bridle, to the snaffle bit, whatever it takes in that moment or in that ride to help the horse to use himself properly, essentially. And, you know, properly or correctly is, those are a couple words that can get misinterpreted a lot of times. I'm saying those things without opinion, really, without saying I like a horse to move this way or I like a horse to move that way. I'm talking about correctly or properly as the horse's joints, muscles, skeleton, brain all work in conjunction there, okay? So that's the biggest, most important thing that I want to think about with, again, with any of the work that we're doing. Is it cool? Absolutely. It's awesome. You know, there's nothing neater than seeing somebody go out there bridleless or go out there at liberty and get a lot of awesome, fancy, great work done. And as I said, I've got a lot of friends. There's a lot of great folks out there that are doing things just like that. And it's awesome, you know, I love it. We all love to watch it. When we're practicing those things, it's really important to understand and to notice, are our horses working properly so that we can develop them to the best of their potential? If the answer is no, then maybe we're not ready for that stuff. Or maybe we need a little bit more help along that process. So hopefully this has been a little bit of a rant, a little bit of an answer that has helped some of you. Hopefully, Laura, that gives you some ideas as to how I think about that whole process. If you've got some friends or some other folks that you know that might be interested in hearing these thoughts, please make sure you tag them in the comment section below. Let's see, that brings us to our question of the day. I should really think about these more in between. I just kind of throw them up randomly. Question of the day. I don't know. Which would you say that you might struggle with more at this point, based on the way that you and your horse are working? Would you struggle more with liberty work, or would you struggle more with bridleless work? I think it's kind of an interesting question. I'm looking forward to hearing your answers. Put your answers to that question in the comment section below this video. And please, 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 if you have any questions, no matter how simple they seem, no matter how advanced they might seem, submit those to us. Send them to us in an email. Send them to us in a private message, direct message here on Facebook. Put them also in the comment section below. You keep asking questions. I'll keep giving answers. Thanks so much, guys.